Okay, what I want you to do is go ahead and open up this load heart disease data, ML ready. We just want to access this data. Recall that this is predicting whether somebody has a heart disease or not. This is one of our smaller data sets, which I want to use because XGBoost can take a little time and I want to do a lot of fine tuning. So go ahead and do File, save a copy in Drive, and then rename it something like this, XGBoost heart disease data. Go ahead and run that first coding cell, and then we are ready to go with our X and Y established. Now, I want to compare XGBoost to some different models here, but the first decision we need to make is this regression or classification? Well, target is 0 or 1. That definitely means classification. So what we're going to do is the following. We're going to import from XGBoost. This is not in the sklearn library, okay? This is its own wrapper. We're going to import capital XGB for XGBoost, and it's classifier. And there you can see, take the first one, just a classifier, not the random forest one. Okay, that's the XGBoost classifier. Now, we're going to put it into cross-validation. So, from sklearn.model selection, okay, we're going to import cross-val score. Okay, so there's cross-val score. Now, let's go ahead and just run a first sort of cross-validation model to see what we get. So to do that, we can do cross-val score on what? Well, we want to do it on the model, right? And, you know, I will often initialize the model first. Okay, so we would say model equals the XGB classifier, okay, which we've imported. We put that in here, and then we simply give it X and Y. This is going to do 5 cross. I'll go ahead and put it in. So the CV is 5, which is the default. And the scoring here, which is also the default, is actually accuracy. Okay. We'll discuss in another lecture about why you often want different scoring metric actually than accuracy. But for now, this is going to be okay, which simply tells us how many percentage, it's going to tell us the percentages of the test sets that the model is predicting correctly. Okay. And then what we've also done is shown both the scores and the mean of those scores, because having both is, I think, valuable to see. Okay, and we can just do scores.mean to get the mean scores. Okay, you can do, if you have a regression data set, you can do the exact same thing using the XGB regressor. Okay, you can, if you want your scoring to be comparable, you can use R2 or the negative mean squared error. Okay, but let's see how it does on the heart disease data set. This is going to be sort of our baseline score that we are starting with. Got an error here. Okay, not sure what the error is. Okay, this is interesting. It says has no attribute sklearn tags. I feel like something has changed since I've done this last. Did I misspell accuracy perhaps? I don't think so. Yeah, that's not the case. So this is interesting. We're starting off with an error here. And again, so how do we resolve these errors? Well, if it's a new one and you're not sure, I wonder if it has to do with something about the model here not being within the sklearn family. I can tell you I've done this many times before, but it's been a while. Things do change over time. So I copy in the error, and that's not what I want to copy. I'm trying to copy this here. So, and you want to look at, generally speaking, Stack Overflow is a nice place. It'll often come up. So here we go. And you can see that there are some changes that have been made. So how do we sort of resolve this? Well, we look at the answer. Okay, I usually go straight to the answer. Oh, and so they're recommending to go to a lower version of sklearn. Not ideal here. You know, I think maybe, I mean, it's going to work. Yikes. This person says 1.3.1 worked. Not good. So I will resolve this later in terms of like a better solution, but let's try this for temporary, noting that someone else said 1.3.1 worked. And You know, I will say this type of thing here is actually much more common when you're not using Colab. And the reason why is because when you have your own libraries, okay, you have to have things lined up, libraries lined up to work together. And, you know, things like this happen, okay? It's not unusual for this to, in fact, happen. So let's see if that fixes it. It still did not work. So let's go with what the other person said. They said they had to use 1.3.1. Okay. So try one more here. It's disappointing sometimes when the upgrades happen and then suddenly things that worked before don't work. Oh boy, restart warning, restart session. All right, I'm just going to go with it. Okay, so let's try this runtime. Let's just do like a restart session and run all. I suppose I could just run all because it did restart. So let's see. Okay, we're just trying to get a score back. First time I've ever had this, so it's been like a year or two since I've done it with cross-validation, and you can see now it does in fact work. We can in fact move forward. And I do want to take a moment here really to highlight the value of Stack Overflow, because when you find the exact question and you're getting the answer, you see a 9 here, this means 9 people agree that this fixed their solution. You have a comment here. You can see, I mean, it's early 2025. These are recent errors. And this is a community of programmers that use Stack Overflow. I encourage you to use it. I don't even have status to be able to like I can try it. Okay, I can try to sign in, and I can tell you I won't be allowed to because I don't have the status. So you have to have kind of like enough programming chops to even be able to contribute to the votes, which in effect makes the answers more meaningful. So I've had a lot of success in Stack Overflow when dealing with errors and not nearly as much dealing with other sites. Okay, but this will be our starting place. We have a cross-validation score of 78.9% if you round with our XGBoost classifier, and we will move forward from there.